Everything changed the moment he said those words. Unaware that he had just sparked the biggest tennis scandal in years, Holgrren sat there in the middle of the match. One distinct smile, one pause, and one name: Alex Eala. What started off as standard publicity turned into the surprise that no one anticipated. And the tennis world would be rocked by what came next. Imagine this. The exciting young talent from Denmark was among the top 10. Known for his ferocious backhand and even more violent attitude, he abruptly softened when questioned about rising female athletes. The 21-year-old, who carried his country's tennis aspirations on his shoulders and destroyed Grand Slam champions, was totally taken aback by a straightforward question. His gaze moved to the left, retrieving actual memories rather than prepared answers. A smile that is impossible to fake and reveals everything appeared on his face. Then, with a compassion that caused everyone to lean forward in their seats, he said her name. However, who is Alex Eala? And why did bringing up her name spark the most intensive fan probe tennis has ever seen? This is the point at which the story becomes truly captivating. Thousands of miles away, Alex Ayala was subtly changing history while Holgrren's explosive playing style dominated ATP headlines. The first Grand Slam junior champion in her country was the Filipino wonder. Carrying the dreams of 110 million people, the barrier-breaking warrior, who persevered through the WTA, won 125 tournaments. Take a moment to consider that weight. She wasn't merely competing for rankings or prize money each time she took the court. She demonstrated that Filipino athletes belonged among the world's best by representing the tennis ambitions of an entire nation. Her transition from qualifier to main tour competitor was not only remarkable, but revolutionary. And in some ways spanning several competitive realms, nations, and circuits. Holgrren had been observing her game with a level of attentiveness that implied something far more than professional courtesy, not carelessly, not infrequently. The way he explained her entire game development, her mental fortitude under duress, and her movement patterns. These weren't observations based on a single viral highlight tape. Music, someone who had spent a lot of time observing her matches, provided this in-depth technical analysis. Many games played on various surfaces and in various competitions. But hold on, it becomes even more fascinating. The same insurmountable pressure was mirrored in these two nascent phenomena. They both became famous before they were even in their early 20s. Serve as the only representatives of their countries at the top level of tennis. They both have the unique combination of technical skill and mental resilience that sets potential champions apart from gifted athletes who reach a plateau. Both are aware of the particular isolation that comes with carrying national expectations while participating in the most solitary sport imaginable. Despite being spread across continents, the professional tennis circuit functions like a small, interconnected community. Future Hall of Famers sit next to aspiring qualifiers pursuing their aspirations in shared player lounges, practice facilities, and motels. These overlapping rings were home to Holgrren and Ayala. They both navigated the perilous waters of living up to early breakthrough success as their paths crossed a combined ATP WTA event. However, until that interview revealed all, no one thought they had truly noticed one another. What happens when sincere emotion overcomes professional restraint? The press conference began precisely as hundreds of others had. Totally unremarkable, completely routine. With tennis balls resonating in the background, Holgrren lounged in his practice gear next to the courts, appearing ready to breeze through another 15 minutes of routine media chores. The journalist began by discussing draw analysis, injury recuperation from the previous event, and typical fair competition preparation. Holgrren answered with a slick, rehearsed response. After thousands of identical exchanges, this type of autopilot provides athletes with flawless responses. Indeed, he felt powerful. Indeed, his knee had fully recovered. Yes, he expected the competition to be difficult. Nothing at all fascinating. 5 minutes later, nobody would recall anything. Then the question that caused things to blow up appeared. Among the WTA competitors who were also present at that week's combined event, the writer inquired about rising women's players, specifically whom Holgrren respected or liked. Completely harmless, intended only to occupy airtime, and likely anticipating references to Coco Gauff or Mara Andreeva, the obvious alternatives that everyone had already talked about incessantly. But pay attention to what transpired next, as everything is revealed at this particular instant. Holgrren paused, but this was not his usual moment of uncertainty before responding diplomatically. His gaze drifted to the left, as human eyes do when accessing real memories rather than delivering prepared sentences, and this pause was substantially longer. Then came that uncontrollably embarrassed smile, which was entirely different from his demeanor at the press conference. When he did speak, her name came out softer than any of his earlier responses, with a clear warmth that instantly changed the tone of the entire interview. Alex Eala, he said, and all those listening realized that something important was taking place. He continued beyond her name. He went into particular, in-depth comments on her influence on Filipino tennis, her perseverance in every match, and her path through qualifying rounds and minor tournaments to secure opportunities on the major tour. He didn't use the standard boilerplate of an athlete praising another athlete. These were sincere observations, accurate analysis, and sincere admiration. The reporter pushed ahead after sensing blood in the water. In reality, you track her outcomes. One more pause. Another obvious change in Holgrren's poise. The self-assured player in the top 10 suddenly looked like a 21-year-old who was caught talking about a crush. He attempted to play it lightheartedly, implying that many players most likely watched her career. However, he later committed a crucial error. He became more detailed once more, talking about her entire game structure, her remarkable movement patterns, and her mental toughness in close games that are completely uncoachable. You either have that trait or you don't, and she most certainly does. This was more than a cursory compliment based on a single highlight package. This was a technical analysis from a person who had closely observed and examined her performance in a variety of games and circumstances. Everything was revealed by the specificity. However, this is where Holgrren sealed his doom. The reporter inquired about direct communication, including if they had practiced or talked about tennis. Now fully aware that this inquiry had gone in an unanticipated direction, Holgrren attempted to keep the situation under control. They had had a few informal conversations in tournament player lounges, but he greatly admired her commitment. The sentence that would dominate tennis social media for the entire next week was then added by him. I believe that many people will be surprised by her. When she breaks into the top 50, possibly much higher, people will finally recognize how exceptional she really is since she has all the tools needed to accomplish it. Take note of that word choice. Not if she does, but when she does. When that confidence, that particular forecast, that personal stake in the future success of another player, especially a player participating on a whole other tour, whom he technically had no professional reason to study so closely. Music, the revelation had already gotten out of hand, but the interview went on for a few more minutes, going back to safer subjects like serve mechanics and tournament strategy. The video became viral on the internet in less than an hour. Tennis-related shares and rumors on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok skyrocketed in just 2 hours. Filipino tennis fans produced heartfelt compilation videos in just 3 hours, put to dramatic music, such as Holgrren respects Alex Eala. Within 6 hours, side-by-side pictures with wildly speculative captions regarding hidden meanings were shared on gossip accounts. The cardinal sin that professional athletes are taught to abstain from was committed by Holgrren. He had disclosed something sincere and open that seemed to everyone in attendance to be far more than just co-workers showing respect for one another. The internet community was on the verge of going completely insane. Furthermore, this was only the beginning of a much larger story. Fans of tennis do more than simply watch games. They do investigations akin to police cracking big crimes. The tennis internet took on the characteristics of a forensic investigation team when Holgrren's interview was leaked. However, rather than solving homicides, they were figuring out the extent of Holgrren's genuine admiration for Alex Eala. And what they found was amazing beyond belief. When a Filipino tennis fan account shared the interview video on Twitter and noted Holgrren's distinct smile and tone in the description, it went viral. Tweets flooded in from every corner of tennis social media within literal minutes. The statement reads, "Every micro-expression, word choice, and pause was examined in the comments. One widely shared tweet noted, "Professional athletes don't talk about other players with this level of personal investment unless something deeper exists." Things drastically worsened after someone made the decision to forensically review Holgrren's complete social media history. A practice shot that Alex Eala had shared from a training session in Spain was found by a user who was scrolling back 7 months. It buried 73 comments. One fire emoji from Holgrren's verified account was deep. Nobody noticed at the time. 800,000 people followed Holgrren. Ayala had about 200,000. One emoji quickly vanished amid digital clutter. But now that it was clear in retrospect, it felt like new evidence in an evolving case. Investigators then discovered an additional interaction. 5 months earlier, Ayala had celebrated her maiden WTA main draw triumph with an article that tagged the event and sponsors. Holgrren had seen it. Instagram doesn't expose story views to the public, but for some reason, a screenshot of Holgrren's account among the viewers from Ayala's close friends list leaked. The amount of detective work increased dramatically. A background photo from Indian Wells, one of the significant combined ATP WTA events, was found in a tennis photographer's collection. Holgrren and Alex Eala were seen waiting for courts in the background of a practice court photo, apparently having a cordial conversation. Together, they were giggling. The picture was taken 4 months ago, got about 40 likes when it was first uploaded, and was entirely disregarded by everyone. It was now being shared thousands upon thousands of times, with commentary that examined their interactions and body language. Tennis drama-focused YouTube artists started making content right away. Videos with names like Holgrren's secret crush revealed and Why Alex Eala has ATP players' attention began to receive hundreds of thousands of views. Massive audiences who might not have heard of each player before were exposed to these videos thanks to the